Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike and today we are going to be comparing the YSL All Hours foundation to the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. If you've seen any video where I mention foundations and sort of my favorites, you will know that these are two of my all-time favorite foundations. This is my high-end pick. This is one of my favorite picks from the drugstore. And in case you didn't know, L'Oreal as a company owns YSL, and there's similar things going on in the beauty industry like that, where for instance Chanel as a brand is owned by Bourjois. Not everybody has access of course to Bourjois, but you will find that a lot of the products in those lines are at least inspired by the higher end sister that is also on the market. So Bourjois has these round blush pots, which product wise are very similar to the Chanel blushes. They just come in very different packaging. And YSL and L'Oreal notoriously also have some overlap in their lines. For instance, the very infamous YSL Touche Eclat is one of the concealers that you can also get from L'Oreal, but at a fraction of the price. So this YSL foundation, the All Hours one, I believe retails for 60 euros over here. I can't remember the exact price point because I also bought this with a discount. So I think I ended up paying around 40 euros for it. Else I probably wouldn't have tried it. And this is the Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation, which I think retails for around 18 euros over here. And I have always said in a lot of the foundation videos that I do, that I feel that these are really good, well, alternatives / dupes for each other. And people were saying, well, maybe you can compare them in a video for us. So that's what this video today is going to be all about. I do apologize for my red and sort of very puffy face. I literally just woke up, but it was I need to get this video out there. So, and I cleansed my face, which is why it's a bit red. That's what's been happening a lot lately. My face is very sensitive again, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Trying to use some skincare to hopefully get some back in the system again, because definitely during lockdown I started slacking on my skincare routine a bit. I still did the bare minimum, but I felt it wasn't the most effective skincare routine for my skin needs. So I definitely was slacking off a bit there. And now that we're heading into fall winter, I definitely feel I need to amp it up a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to do. So if I look a little extra red and very sort of it feels like my eyes aren't even fully open yet. So I do apologize, the very tired face. But hey, it's a Saturday. I slept in. I'm gonna get groceries later today. It's all good. I'm gonna read. So yeah, I'm just going to be lounging around the house, and I will update you as the day progresses on how these two foundations compare and wear and all of that. But before we can do that, of course, we need to put them on this face. So I think I'll start with the L'Oreal one first and just talk about this separately first, and then I'll talk about the other one when I put that one on. And the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear was such a great drugstore find for me. This came in a, what was it called? The Stay Fresh, but that shade range was just a little bit off. I had one of the lightest shades and it was still too orange, and the next one down was super pale. So they really worked on the shade range for this one. I do have to say the shade I have, which is 20 Ivory, is a shade you cannot buy in the country I live in. Our shades are numbered completely differently, and that's something that L'Oreal, and I find also Maybelline, does a lot, is that in different countries, shade names will be different, the numbering system will be completely different. So I'm not sure how useful it is that you know that I have this in 20 Ivory, because if you're in the States, this could be called something completely different and it would be the same shade. So I don't know. I think it may be a little bit pale for me right now. I do have to say though that because it's sort of the end of summer, early fall, this year I definitely had a little bit more of a tan. So a lot of the foundations I now have are actually a hair too light for me, but I know come winter time they're fine. And that's when I prefer to wear these. These in the middle of winter, December time, I love them. This is a long wearing foundation, but it's also very hydrating. I find it looks very natural on the skin, but it does have a medium to full coverage if you'd like to. And I feel the same way about the YSL All Hours. So let's tackle that one for a minute now. So the All Hours definitely has a bit of a story behind it. I had never tried a YSL foundation, and I had heard good things about this, and I thought, well, I have this gift voucher, this coupon, so maybe I can try some, you know, a more expensive foundation. And I had tried Chanel, I had tried Dior. I was like, oh, maybe I'll try a YSL one. So that's how I came to try this. I have this one in the shade BR20, and especially in this foundation range, I struggled finding out what shade I was even going to be, because the numbering system is a little bit weird. Like, what does the B and the R stand for? Like, I hope it's something like rosé or whatever. So, and I do think that in the, like, this is also like a pretty good shade match for me, especially in the wintertime. I really like the shade of this. And I was able to actually try this before committing to the full size. So what the store did is that it pumped something out, and then I was able to take that home along with an unopened bottle and a receipt. And we're like, if you save the receipt, you don't like the sample, you can still return it. So for a foundation this expensive, I thought that was a really, really good customer service from the store. I ended up liking that sample so much, this foundation blew me away, and I felt very similarly about the L'Oreal one when I first tried it. So that's why for me they are very much up to par, as in like some of the best stuff that was on the market. Of course, by now, since these have launched, so many other things have come out, but this is what I've tried, and to me these are still some of my top favorites. It's just that especially in the past year, I've been trying a lot of foundation, so I haven't worn these for a while either. So I'm just super excited to put these on my face and see if I still feel the same way. Maybe I feel differently now that I haven't used them since last winter, who knows. So I'm going to start applying the L'Oreal one to this side of my face, and then the YSL one to this side of my face. I'm going to be using a Primark sponge for this. And yeah, I'm just going to use the same technique. I'm wearing the Coconut Dreams Primer by Makeup Revolution underneath everything, and yeah, making sure that everything gets a good, like, try. Okay, so the L'Oreal one, ooh, I'm not sure if I can show you this because it's quite runny. As you can see, it starts to run everywhere. And it's got a like very neutral undertone, I find. Now that I've pumped it out, I think the shade actually might work for me, because this looks very similar to the Zoeva foundation that I've been trying all month. And that has a very similar shade to this, I feel. So 20 Ivory may actually be a good one, but let's just see if we apply this. Yeah, maybe a bit like light. So I'm only going to apply it to this side of my face, so maybe I've pumped out a little too much. And I've said this many times before, but what I find important is that my foundation matches here in my neck, because that's where I'm super pale. My neck is far lighter than my face is. So I find it much more important that this matches so I don't get a weird line than this. Like, I can fix this with bronzer and lipstick and eyeshadow and all that. Ooh, I think it blends in quite well here, so it may actually not be too light. So this way you can see what that L'Oreal foundation really does in terms of coverage. It's like it's a lighter coverage than I remembered, but it's got good pigmentation. Yeah. Looks very natural on the skin. It blends in really nicely, very seamlessly, very easily as well. So I really like that. I love the shade of this. It's perhaps, it's got a little bit of brightness in the center, but I really feel that around here really matches my neck very well. So that will be lovely. It does have a bit of a scent to it now that I haven't used this in a while, as I said. So it's this very sort of like baby, kind of like baby product kind of scent. It really reminds me of like baby shampoo. It's a very soft scent though. I don't think it will linger for a very long time. And now on this side of the face, we are going to be using the YSL All Hours. And I'm pretty sure this has fragrance in too, because most of these high-end things have quite a bit of fake fragrance. So I do think this is a very different texture though. Oh yeah. Look at that. So where the L'Oreal one was super runny. This is more like moussey. Do you see that? It's not like as watery as the other one. But I remember this still being a very lightweight texture. So let me see how this goes. Wait, I need to move my mirror so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, I think this shade may be a little bit different than the L'Oreal one. But I think it's okay as well. Like, all right, so I'm gonna see if I can move you a little bit so you get a little bit more of that brightness on this side too. So I think that this is a really, really lovely foundation too. Now that they're on, I'm like, yes, I remember why I think that these are similar in like the vibe they give me. Yes, the textures are very different when they go on. The YSL one is definitely a little creamier, a bit thicker, and this is a little bit more watery. You can also feel it when you shake up the bottle. L'Oreal one, when you shake it up, you can really feel the product moving around, whereas the YSL one, you can't. But I feel that once it's on my face, I really feel that they give off a very similar vibe. Like, it's got a nice glow to it. It's like a medium-ish coverage with one thin layer, of course, because that's all that I've put on. And I don't think that either one of them really, like, it doesn't look like I'm wearing two different foundations. Like, the shades are actually quite similar. If I'm looking at it head on, I really feel like the shades are pretty, like, they're pretty bang on here. The L'Oreal one I now see is starting to gather a little bit around my nose, but that's what every foundation has been doing lately. Remember, I've been trying to amp up my skincare routine, so I think my skin is also reacting to that. Because it's not as if I have a super dry patch over there when I do anything about it, but I'm still going to be applying concealer and the rest of my makeup. So I will be finishing off my makeup look first, and then I am going to be showing you what the full face looks like, and then I'm just going to go about my day. I will update you a few times throughout the day, and then we'll have a look at the end of the day to see whether these also wear similarly or not, because I think that's, you know, foundation wise, I think if you want to know whether they're a dupe, they do need to still look the same at the end of the day. Maybe one of these starts breaking up much more quickly, who knows? Only time will tell, and we'll find out together in this video. So I'll see you in my next clip shortly. So the rest of my makeup is on, and as you can see, makeup goes over both of these foundations just lovely. And I mean, I really don't see a difference between the two sides anymore, especially now that I'm done. Like, I was doing my makeup and it didn't feel any differently, you guys. So I think that that's a good thing. I am now going to go about the rest of my day. By the way, if you would like to know what else is on my face, I usually link all of the color products on my in the description box. But the powder that I use is the Hourglass Veil powder. So I think that that's essential for the base, like the primer and the powder that I use. Of course, I use the same powder all over, and everything else will be linked in the description box below. So make sure you check that out. And then I will be back with you in a few hours. I think it's about 11 right now, and I intend to wear this for at least 8 hours today before I give you like my final update. So I'll update you again sometime like early afternoon, just to see how everything wears. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to go around about the rest of my day, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so it's about 3 right now, so it's about, I don't know, like 3.5, 4 hours that everything has been on. Excuse the mess that is my right eye. My eye has been tearing up all day. I probably need to take my hay fever meds again very soon. But yeah, that's why this looks a little worse for wear. But yeah, that's just, we're just gonna deal with it. It's about the face makeup. That's what matters most. So this is the YSL side, that is the L'Oreal side. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it looks really good. I think both of them look good. I think that on my chin, like here, it seems to be like clogging up a little bit, but I do have to say that when I went to get groceries, I was super hot, so I was like sweating buckets. I know, too much information. So I definitely felt it made my skin a lot shinier, and I do think if I look at them critically side by side, then I think that especially here around my nose, like right here, that's where the L'Oreal foundation is, and that's where you do see a little bit of the foundation breaking apart, whereas the YSL side is pristine. And then right here in my chin, I can sort of like seeing the foundation sitting in that line right there. But that's on both sides, so that doesn't really make much of a difference. My forehead is looking okay. It's not looking weird or patchy or anything like that. You know, sometimes when you get a bit of a sweaty face, that your foundation can start patching up completely. But that's definitely not what's happening. I mean, whatever wear is there is very, very minimal on both sides of my face. So far, I would say that these wear very similarly. Fingers crossed, we still have a few hours left. I think I'm gonna try wearing this until like 7 or 8 p.m. I'm not sure. I think about 8 though it's gonna be dark. So I think 7 is like the last time I can do an update. So maybe if I don't forget, I'll do another update in between, because I do know that some foundations like really start to wear down around the like 6-hour mark. So maybe 2 hours from now I can do another update. So I'll see you then. Okay, so right here the concealer and the eyeshadow, it's all gone, but I think that the foundation is holding up pretty well. There are literally hardly any changes. I did have something to eat, so I think I may have actually smushed lipstick on my chin. Hold on. It's just lovely. But yeah, I mean, like foundation wise, both sides are looking good. I do have to say that I think that the L'Oreal over here by my nose is looking a little shinier than the YSL one. Like the YSL one it just hasn't budged. Like just no change whatsoever. The L'Oreal one is definitely starting to break up around here. Let me see, am I seeing anything else that's different? No, chin is looking fine, hasn't gotten any worse. Forehead is okay. Yeah, just the L'Oreal side has gotten just a tad shiny, not to the point where you're like, ooh, I'm starting to look oily or anything like that. I mean, I've got dry skin, so that never really happens for me. But this side, nice and natural and glowy, and this side still nice and natural and glowy. So far, I'm super happy. I'm going to wear this for like another hour or two, and hopefully I still have enough daylight by like 7:30, 8-ish, that I can still film another clip for you. And let's see what it then looks like after over 8 hours of wear, because this has now been on for like just over 7 hours, I think. So we're doing pretty okay here. I'm very happy with this. So real quickly, the last update for today. I don't think my foundation has changed a lot. Let me grab a mirror. It really hasn't changed a lot. It's just gotten a little shinier in the same places, but I do feel that the YSL one is now also becoming a bit shiny in the same place. So what I'm talking about is right here, the L'Oreal started to become, you can see that, like it's a bit shiny here, and now the shine is coming through on this side too. But this has been on for 8 hours. It's now like 7:30 at night, so I waited like another hour and a half, and daylight is waning fast, so I need to make this quick. I'm starting to get a little shiny on my forehead, but nothing too bad. There isn't a huge difference between these two foundations, you guys. It's pretty much the same thing. I would say that the foundation from YSL is just a little bit longer wearing, and the one from L'Oreal is just a little less longer wearing. It started to get a little shinier a lot more quickly, but nothing really broke off or became very patchy. I feel that also my blush and my bronzer and my highlight is still there. It still works. These are just two really solid foundations. If you haven't tried them yet, please do. I think that you might enjoy them. So yeah, that's it for this video, you could say. I hope that this was helpful for you, that if you were looking into these foundations, that you now have an idea how they compare. I think you don't have to splurge the 60 euros on the YSL for sure. You can get away with the L'Oreal one if you don't mind it being a little bit shinier than the YSL one. However, the YSL one is stellar quality, I have to say. And also, you know, all of this makeup has been on since 11 this morning. And yeah, lipstick still going strong. Charlotte Tilbury, Matte Revolution, and Love Liberty. Eyeshadow, especially on this eye. This eye was tearing up all day, so this side is perhaps best, but this is the Vintage Soul palette by Catrice, so you got a sneak peek of those products too. I have to say that I really like these foundations, and I really would hope that this video was helpful for you, that if you were thinking about buying either one of these, that you have an idea how they compare. I think they are very comparable. What about you? So thank you very much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or maybe subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I make 3 new videos a week, so I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!